Alright guys, today's video is replacing another motor mount. I showed you guys how to replace the one down here, the transmission mount, but now we are going to change that mount right there. And it looks like the mounts have never been changed on this car ever. So I've changed 2 of the 3, and this is the last one. I've had this mount off before, and it's all cracked, and you can see where it's actually starting to buckle, and I can show you guys that once I get it off, because it'll be much easier to see. First thing you want to do, obviously, before you even try to take that off, is you need to support the engine. Supporting the engine is crucial. If you don't, you have a good chance of the engine dropping, even though you have 2 other mounts. Always a good idea. And if you don't, you're never going to get the mount back on where it's supposed to go, because the engine's going to literally sag down. So you don't want to do that. I'm actually kind of on an incline. I would suggest doing this on a flat surface. Actually, it's a decline, really. So what I had to do, I had to actually jack up my car a little bit with this jack here, and I had to jack it up just enough so that I could get this jack underneath with a piece of wood. And as you can see, it's pushing up right there on the oil pan. That is exactly where you want it to be, is right there. I used a piece of wood so that the metal of the jack wouldn't hurt the oil pan. And using a piece of wood, it's flat. It's going to support it really well. As you can see, I've put it all the way across from left to right, and that's going to kind of equalize the pressure all along the oil pan. Alright, and the point of this is, make sure that it's supported. You don't really want to raise it too much. Just make sure that it's solid in there, and that way once you release the mount, it's not going to fall or anything like that. Alright. And this is on the passenger side of the car in the front. Once again, that guy. Also, another thing that you're going to see that I don't have on here right now is there is a bar that hooks into the mount right here, and it also goes around to the other side, and there we go, and it hooks in right here, and then also around to the other side and hooks in right there. I don't have that on there. You will. So you want to remove that first. Those should be a couple of 14 millimeters. In fact, I'm pretty sure this whole job is going to be 14 millimeter. I like using my 14 millimeter with a nice hefty extension. That way you can, you have enough room to move and all that good stuff. So you definitely need to move your coolant reservoir off to the side. Mine has been broken for a long time. Pretty sure, let me get a light on here. I'm pretty sure that this guy here is the catch that it sits on. So there's probably some release on the back over here to help bring that up. Alright, now for the bolts, you've got 3 of them right here, 1, 2, and 3, the big ones, and then the 4th and final is right there, right where the mount is. And actually, you might be able to get a good visual of this. You can see that right there where it meets the metal part here, you can see, oh, focus back in here, you can see the cracks as I barely shine light on it. You can see it's all cracky and stuff. And once we take it off, I'll compare it to the new one. You can kind of see where it's starting to buckle. You have something to compare it to. So let's get these bolts loosened and get this thing off of here. Alright, so actually this reservoir's kind of in the way a little bit. Alright, so first bolt, and what I usually do is I kind of loosen all of them. Here, hold on. I want to make sure. Hold on a second. I think this moved a little. Let me make sure it's. Make sure it's tight here. Oh, sorry. Alright. Cool. Alright. Move that out of the way. So, okay. Alright. Sorry about that. Alright, so I usually like to loosen them all a little bit before I take them out. That way you can just kind of... It's much easier to tell how well the engine is supported when you just do a little bit at a time. Because, let's face it, if you wait until the very last bolt, you know, you might be in trouble. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen these, and also loosen the one down here on the mount, and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright guys, so as you can see, got this one most of the way out. This is the one that holds it to the frame. And as you can see, it's I'm able to unscrew it with my fingers. Not too bad. Usually, there we go. Like this thing. Hey, and Charlie's back.
Hey.
Hey. All right.
Any light on?
Nah.
Okay, so they see the picture.
Yeah, everything. I've been shining light on there with this flashlight here for the parts that need it. All right, so. Yeah, Charlie is the fiance's dad. He helps me with car stuff every once in a while. In fact, he's in one of the videos. Actually, a couple videos, I think. Alright, so as you can see, this one's nice and loose. Ooh, well, that one's a little bit tight still. Take these out real quick. I think the reason that long one is a little bit hard to get out because I think I have a little more pressure on the engine than I thought I did, which isn't a problem because I can just lower it if I need to. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, so this one should come out here in a second. It's kind of a tight spot to work sometimes. Alright, I'm going to take these completely out and then I'll come back. Alright guys, I'm back. I got the mount out. It's very easy to get out once you get the bolts out of here. Alright, so I want to point out, let me see if I can get a good angle of this. Let's see. Maybe without the light. Okay. Let's try to turn it up this way. No. Alright, bear with me here, guys. I'm going to try to get a good angle on this. Alright, this is the old one right here. See if I can, maybe from the side is better. Yeah. Well, it doesn't really want to focus right now. But anyway, you can kind of see that it has a pretty steep angle right here. Even if it doesn't focus, you can still see it. It's pretty steep. This is where it's giving way right here, and it's cracked in that spot. Right, well, I showed you guys earlier, so we'll just leave it at that. Alright, so put the old one aside. We'll look at the new one. You can see this one doesn't have nearly the angle that the other one does. The other one, you know, it was just like it was kind of looked like it was caving in almost. And I can push on the other one against this part, and you can see it. You can see it separating on the cracks a little bit. Definitely not good. Assuming it's original. There are also cracks on this side on the old one over there. So, really bad condition. Alright, now let's put these side by side, make sure they're the same thing. Bring it out in the light a little bit here. Alright, now I'll take it to the back of the car. Set it down carefully, and I'm going to do it this way. Alright, so there's a rubber piece right here. It is on the old one. It has come to it is detached, but it's over by the engine. So that's the same diameter, same piece that sticks out here. Let's turn it this way. Same holes. Okay. And then the other side, right here. This is the rubber piece I was talking about. This one, you can't take it off. It's like, it's attached on there. Oh, maybe you could if you really worked at it, but I don't want to. Alright, so everything looks the same. And this is good. This is an eBay part. I did an eBay part for the other mount as well, and that one was just a tiny bit off. What I did differently from this one was I actually used the same part that you would get off of Auto Parts Warehouse. It was just cheaper on eBay for the same exact part, so I went that way. Let's go over here real quick. I'll kind of show you how to put it in. Okay. Let's get a light. Okay. Got my trusty light. Alright, so we're dealing with this here. Okay. So, and one thing I forgot to mention. You can see that these holes, are up just slightly more than this one, that does matter because your bolts, you've got that one and that one that are the same length, and those are longer than that one. So you definitely want to make sure that you're putting the bolts back in the same order, like where they came from. Now, the two longer ones, interchangeable, those ones don't matter. If you put them in the correct, two slots, that's fine. And you got that big long one right there that goes through the hole right there and goes through that hole there. Okay, so I'm gonna put this down in there. Okay, and honestly, it really just kind of goes down nice and easy in there. Obviously, it's not lined up right now because I can't do that, hold the phone, and shine the light at the same time. So I'm just going to push it down kind of into place. But here's, you want to make sure. There we go. Alright, so the upper timing cover, one of the bolts is in the way. So literally you just want to push down on that, just like that, and it'll completely clear that. And then you can just slide it through like that. Okay, so let's take a look at it from this angle, just like that. And another thing is, if you ever want to take this upper timing chain cover off, you have to remove the mount to do it, because you can't get to that bottom bolt right there. You can see that it's being blocked, so you'd have to take this mount off anyway. Alright, so the next thing I like to do is I like to start each of the bolts so that I know for sure that before I tighten it down too much, they're all going to fit. So let's see if I can get that. I'm gonna do let's see here. Need to line up this guy first. I think I'm a little too low. Alright, give me 1 second. Alright guys, so the trouble I was having was that just a second ago, was that the bolt didn't line up with the hole in the mount. So I actually had to jack up the engine just a little bit, and that gave me enough room to wiggle it around to be able to get that through. So once it goes through this side, it goes through the whole mount, and then it comes out on this other side over here. I just barely threaded it through just to make sure that it would stay put, and then you want to come over the top and make sure that those are pretty well lined up. You can definitely adjust a little bit in any case. So looks like they're just a tiny bit off, but that shouldn't be an issue because I can actually pull the engine forward a little bit if I absolutely need to. Just enough to get it in there. Sorry, went off a little bit. Yeah, so you can see it's just off just a fraction, but that shouldn't be an issue. Be right back. Alright guys, so what I ended up doing was, started getting dark out here, so I got my nice little floodlight here. Actually, it's Charlie's floodlight, but there we go. Makes things a million times easier to see. Alright, so what ended up happening was, with the mount bolted in the way it was, I couldn't get the 3 bolts to line up correctly. I was moving the engine around a little bit, just didn't want to line up. So I took that big long bolt out, started those ones. As you can see, they're not didn't put them in too far, and they're obviously, you know, in there. So, but now to come and look at this part here, see if we can get a light down there. You can see that the hole is not lined up. So what I'm going to end up doing is jacking up the engine maybe just a little bit more. Either that, or maybe I can move this here. We'll see what happens. See, I might be able to. Nope, I'm not going to be able to move it enough. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably tighten those down. See if I can. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to tighten those down. That'll make that nice and firm. So when I jack up the engine, it should move. Well, let me see what happens if I do it now. All right, and we'll just keep the camera on here and see what happens. Alright, so as you can see, it is starting to move, but it's too far. It's too far to the right. So, alright, let me finagle it a little bit, and I will get back to you, tell you exactly what happened. Okay, see you in a minute. Alright guys, I'm back, and that last bit with the trying to get it lined up properly, that was actually a real pain in the ass. It took quite a while, and I have a feeling it's because the old mount was sagging and stuff, and so where I unbolted that one from isn't where the new one was supposed to be, and so I really had to like pull and push and adjust the height, and I'm not gonna lie, it actually took hours, and I've taken the other mount off several times. I'd probably say at least 6 or 7 times, and I never had a problem like that. So when you guys are replacing it, if it's as bad as mine is, just make sure you have patience. You will get it. The last problem was just trying to get the bolt the rest of the way through the back. That was the biggest problem. But I finally got it. Everything is torqued down, and it's ready to go. If you guys have any problems, feel free to message me on YouTube. I usually answer pretty quickly, because the push notifications and stuff. Oh, well, there goes that. So, overall, this really is the easiest one to get to. Just a recap: make sure you support the engine, and make sure everything's tightened down before you let the engine all the way down, so it doesn't put any unnecessary strain on the bolts. And that's about it. So I hope this was helpful for you guys, and just keep me posted. If you guys do it, let me know how it went. If you guys are having trouble, let me know. I'll try to help as best I can. And yeah, so if you like this video, like and subscribe. Like always, have a great night, and I'll see you in the next video.